really time to pull the plug or not. But no matter what he does, no one is listening to him. The hospital is moving forward and there's nothing George can do. Until suddenly, out of nowhere, George pulls out a pew-pew and he points it at the doctors and he tells them to back away from his son. And naturally, everyone starts freaking out. Like, whoa, calm down, buddy. And one of the nurses calls 911.
Hey, we need the police stat to the hospital. We have a family member with a gun.
So George is there, drunk, waving his pew-pew around, threatening to unalive the staff. But then, out of nowhere, boom. Brother jumps on him and they wrestle and he manages to take the pew-pew out of his hand. But George is far from done. He looks at the whole room and he's like, you think that's the only weapon I got? So everyone is like, okay, I don't get paid enough for this. And they all leave the room. And George immediately shuts the curtain around Tripp's bed so no one can see what's going on. Then, because the nurse called 911, the SWAT team shows up and they put the entire hospital in total lockdown. And they don't want this to get ugly, so they're basically like, George, please surrender. And George is like, nah. And the whole time he's by Tripp's side holding his hand. And this standoff goes on for hours, with the SWAT team just outside waiting because they don't want George to go crazy with whatever second weapon he has. Here's the thing though, George doesn't have a second weapon. He never had a second weapon. He just told everyone he did so he could buy Tripp some more time. So they've been in this standoff for about 3 hours, and then suddenly, Tripp squeezes George's hand. And George is like, whoa! He's not sure if he imagined it, so he tells his son to squeeze it again, and Tripp does. And as you can imagine, George is overjoyed, like maybe Tripp isn't brain dead. In fact, George is so happy, he immediately surrenders. And police arrest him, and here's his mugshot. So then George goes to trial, and he spends 11 months in prison. But here's the best part. Tripp eventually wakes up, and he makes a full recovery. Last I read, he's fine now. He even went on TV and did an interview and talked about it.
There was a law broken, but it was broken for all the right reasons. I'm here now because of it.
And all this happened in Tomball, Texas, so shout out to Texas.